Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, He-Bot, and I'm going to do another Toys in My Closet He-Bot unboxing and toy review. Uh, I was out today doing things for the family, chores, and the, daily duties of a dad, obviously. And big shout outs to my daughter, who I love her very much. She's a very good daughter, and I'm very proud of her, and she's very kind, even though she acts a little crazy to troll and be funny. But I've been very lucky with all my kids, to say the least. She's in college, she works, she stays out of trouble, she hasn't gotten pregnant, she doesn't go out and have bad habits like drinking and smoking and doing, alcohol and things of that nature. And she's a good kid for the most part. She's a good kid, and she's very strong and minded and ambitious. And I thank her a lot for being the way she is. So anyway, the reason why I brought her up and I'm giving her a shout out is because she bought me a birthday gift back in October. But it was something that was based off a pre-order, and I didn't have no way to access it until it was ready to ship out and come out. But it was something that I wanted very dearly to me and in my heart, and I've never had it, and I always dreamed of having something like it. And basically, it was a very special item from Masters of the Universe, and it was from Mondo. And basically, it's almost like an equivalent of from them. It's almost like a Hot Toys, but not as expensive, but with the quality of a Hot Toy to a certain degree. And I always thought it would be amazing to see He-Man characters from that world created in a Hot Toy form. And to be honest, I would still like to see a Hot Toys from Masters of the Universe. Even though I probably can't afford it and wouldn't be able to buy maybe one or two, and that's struggling obviously, but I would still like to see that. But I think they did a hell of a job. And here's the packaging when I went home today. Here's the packaging, very nice. It's very big. It says Masters of the Universe on the top there, as you see. And then, it's like it's supposed to be like Castle Grayskull. It's kind of big, and the camera's very zoomed in. It doesn't zoom back at all. So, just to show you guys, it's a slip cover that you slide off like this. So when you slide it off, this is what you get on this side, and it's a nice artwork of He-Man, as you see there. Masters of the Universe there, it says He-Man. And then it has a nice thing here in the bottom, right there. It says Mondo. And then in the side there it says 1/6 collectible scale. Right there. Oh, actually it looks backwards or upside down. There it is, 1/6 collectible scale. And the other side is the same thing. And then it's a magnetic flap that is magnetized. Like this. You see when you open it, it says Masters of the Universe like that. Right there. And then you flap it open. And it has a nice artwork there on the side, which is the crest of the door of the drawbridge of Castle Grayskull. And then you see He-Man there in his entirety. As you can see, I'm trying to fit him in the frame. Probably can't see it well at all. Let me see something. Yeah. Oh boy, it's probably the lighting. Let me start to put this down a little bit. In frame, there you go. He looks really nice. This is a really nice piece. It comes with the extra stuff. I was trying to get the actual exclusive through Mondo themselves, which they gave you an extra head, Alcala head, which is basically Skeletor's face and head in the original comics when they first came out. That came with the little 5.5-inch figures from the 80s. But it ran out really fast, I believe, and when I went to try to get it, I was already too late. So I couldn't get it, which kind of sucks, but I'm hoping maybe in the aftermarket I can find it. I know I'm going to pay hardly really big fluctuated prices, but I'll try to see if I can get it because I think it's a cool piece, and I didn't get an opportunity to get my hands on it, unfortunately, because the way we did it was that you pre-order it and you pay an initial deposit. I think it was like $56, and then you waited until it shipped and they charged you the whole thing, or you pay it little by little in 6 months payment until they ship it, which I do have Skeletor as well, which she also bought me, by the way, or kind of lent me the money to buy it, and I still need to pay her. I haven't really paid her back yet. So until I do, she bought it for me. That's the way I say it, because fair is fair. It's her money, and she did buy it for me. So each figure was $160 with the tax included, and then when you shipped it, it was $190. So it was about $20 for the shipping, which is a pretty big box, as you see. So it's to be expected, about $20. And that was here in the States. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a better venue, better place, and try to get good lighting if I can, and unbox them so that you guys can check them out and tell me what you think, for those of you that follow my channel and that follow what I do and like how I do it and the way I review my stuff and unbox it. And hopefully we'll have a good time the way I usually have a good time. What you call it, the way I usually have a good time. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my hand and get another way. The way I usually try to have a good time, or that I do have a good time, reviewing it. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. Stick around and let's have some fun. Yeah, guys, welcome back. And for a long time, very long time, since I was a kid, really, I always wondered, when I had more knowledge and really grasped the beauty that was collecting toys and figures. When my first big full collection that I had was Masters of the Universe, obviously, which was a big thing for me, because I got the entire collection. I had all the play sets, which was including Eternia. At the time, I was the only kid in my neighborhood to actually have it, and it was my only gift that I got for that. I believe it was that birthday or that Christmas that year, because I felt it was worth it, just getting the one thing, and that was the deal my parents made. Okay, we'll get it for you, but that's the only thing you're gonna be able to get, because it was about $180 at the time. And ever since I grasped that feeling and knowledge of figures and how it felt to have a beautiful collection, complete, all the vehicles as well, all the little weapon packs and all the little accessories that they sold, like the Stilt Stalker and like the jet sled, that came, packed in together. I always wondered what it would feel like to have a figure in the He-Man line that would look more really high quality, high premium, and high class, that was in a bigger scale, and to have a more realistic look to it, and how nice it would look. And I think after I unboxed this Mondo piece of Masters of the Universe, I think they've accomplished that, in many ways. And it's really exciting to me because, like I said, I'm blessed, and I'm very blessed and I feel very blessed to have ownership of this piece now. Thank you, thanks to my daughter that picked it up for me and kind of did it as a surprise, as a gift for my birthday. And I couldn't be more blessed. And a lot of people may hate on this figure. They may hate on the company. I really don't know. But I'm a believer, of a very firm believer, that if you give a company an opportunity, a chance to try and get better and better at what they do, that eventually they're gonna hit that mark that everybody strives to do and give you the best quality and best products. And I think this figure, is more of a hit than a miss, but it does have some things that I'm worried about in long term. But I think it's going to get better with time. I truly believe that. So here's the packaging for the Castle Grayskull, in front of it, and for the He-Man Mondo. It's nice. sleeve over top that obviously is the silhouette and the design of the outside of Castle Grayskull on the drawbridge. So you just simply slide it up from the actual packaging to go up this way. And as soon as you slide it up, it reveals the internal packaging, which the first thing you see is a really nice, really beautiful, like black and white kind of inked picture and portrait of He-Man and their idea of what He-Man is. This is Mondo's He-Man, a representation of He-Man. It says Mondo, like I said, right there. He-Man, most powerful man in the universe. It's a 1/6 scale collector's figure, meaning it's in the 12-inch range. They have a beautiful color depiction in the back that is drawn. I guess this probably was based off the blueprint of what they were going for, their idea, when they started creating the figures. And then inside, it has like a magnetized type of system that says He-Man there. And there you have the bubble window that He-Man was in, which I already took him out, obviously, for the sake of the review, so that it wouldn't take too long. And then, that's what it would look open in its full form, like this, like so. And that is the crest of Castle Grayskull. And then it says here, a direct descendant of the legendary King Grayskull, Prince Adam of Eternia, was chosen to protect his ancestors' power sword from the evil by transforming into the most powerful man in the universe, He-Man. At first, he used to use a techno vest with a built-in force field to fight evil, but Adam has since learned to channel the energy of the elders directly from Castle Grayskull's sword, fighting evil and protecting Eternia alongside the other heroic masters of the universe. So, very pretty there. It says Masters of the Universe down there as well. So, the packaging was very impressive and feels very high quality. So, that is going to bring us now, obviously, into the figure. So I'm going to slide them over here, just like so. Boom. And here is the Mondo He-Man figure. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you that are, especially that are hardcore He-Man fans, have a very good idea. Let's see if I can move it a little closer, and then have a very good idea of what this He-Man looks like, what it has to offer. I'm not sure yet. How can I fit him here all in one frame? I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna put his accessories out like so, and you know what? I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that little more distance for this, because he is tall. He is a 12-inch figure, and and I'm pretty sure you guys know what he looks like, knows what he is, and what he looks like. But still, I'm going to give you my review and honest opinion about him based on me having ownership and obviously being a fan. So I'm going to try to do it as honest as possible. So what we do is we start off with some of his accessories. And here is one of the blades that he comes with. All right. Which is very well done. And this sword is the sword that came with the weapons rack in the original Castle Grayskull. Look at the hilt of the sword. Very nicely painted. Looks like leather in brown. Very nicely detailed and sculpted. and then the gold harnessed and gold tip with the silver metal worn down sword look. This little sword came with the weapons rack, as we all know from Castle Grayskull, and they actually made their own version of it and gave it a more realistic personality. And this is what this whole theme for this figure, I think, is really aiming to be, and what Mondo was intending to be from the very beginning. He does come with these closed fist sets of hands right here. To be honest with you, I took them off because I wanted to put him with all his weapons. And they're very nicely painted, although I think some of the airbrushing makes it look like this one is lighter in skin tone than this one. But these are closed-fisted hands he comes with. And then he comes with 3 pairs of hands, so 6 hands altogether. Then he comes with his trigger hands for either right or left. And this is to wield if you want to, if you want to display him with the guns it came with, because they put some guns in there. And the first gun they put in there, which looks awesome, is right here. And this is the gun from the Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren. And they did a really nice job painting it, making it look more realistic with that realistic tone. In gunmetal, as you see, a beautiful amount of detail. And the holster, where you hold it, looks really nice with a leathery black strap. And then the black tip at the end is supposed to be like a laser. And then he also came with this other gun. That's another homage to the original. This gun is actually a gun that came with Web Store in orange. And it also came with the weapons rack in Castle Grayskull. And it also was packed in with more weapons with Manny faces that came in like a burgundy color, but we've never seen this gun in this form with the nice black and silver gunmetal look like a real gun. Again, very good representation by making it look realistic. So like a realistic kind of little highlights there of red and these nice silver to give it a more realistic look of it being in a realistic existing world of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, obviously. And then he came also with an extra set of head. And I understand why they did this. And this is also very nostalgic for people. And I get it. And it's well done. But to be honest, when you look at this, it does not fit the aesthetics of that figure, because he looks just too realistic. This here, my friends, I'm sorry, does not look good. Not for that body. If there was something they released down the road, maybe they could build a figure body with other characters, and each character brought another piece of He-Man to create a vintage style one that they had, it'd be different. But I think they just did this for fun, just to have fun with the figure and the release. This will never be used by me, ever. I'm sorry, no offense. It's just too corny looking. When you look at this as an updated figure and a more realistic in our reality, and you look at the old figure and the way it looked, it just looks too corny. Now, if it had an updated version of the head that made it look more realistic with more fine details like Mattel did with the face sculpt of He-Man, then that's a different story. Then you can actually use it and put it on, and I think it will work a lot better. Now, this character here, I forgot the name of him. I don't remember his name. He is from the Filmation cartoon. I just don't remember if it was in She-Ra's cartoon or if it was in the cartoon for the actual He-Man. But I do remember him. It was a cute little flying thing. That this propellers here, this is his propeller. It's supposed to be his tail. And it's like a helicopter propeller. That's how he flies. Very unique looking. He looks almost like a little flying miniature whale with an elephant face, but with no wings. And he's beautifully sculpted. He looks really, really good. He's beautifully sculpted. And he looks very authentic and represented very well with nice washes of blue, painted really well, really clean, of the actual characters from the Filmation. And I think that's cool that they're adding Filmation stuff as well, because that means they're just leaving themselves open. Well, Mondo is leaving themselves open to try other things down the line to make a more realistic interpretation of their own, coming from their own mind, from their sculptors, of a Filmation character in Filmation form, but giving their style and aesthetic to that figure. And it comes with the stand that's in two parts, and you put it together. Very simple, but it works really good and it looks really nice displayed. Maybe it just feels a little off because He-Man is more realistic, but I look at it as a character that's like a fantastical character, made out of fantasy, and he's supposed to look silly or what not have you. And then obviously we have the figure itself right there. I'm going to just pull him up a little bit, and I'm going to put him to the side real quick. He also comes with this nice kind of plain stand, but it's the same style of stand that a lot of Hot Toys come with in sideshow figures. And I think they skipped a beat. That's one of my first complaints, that they didn't put nothing here that represents He-Man or the Masters of the Universe. Now, I don't know if that's due to cost, or if it's due that they were not allowed to because of the font or whatever, but they have it on the packaging, so I'm not sure. But they did make sure that they put the Mondo logo underneath it. And it looks nice, but it's underneath it, obviously. And, it serves its purpose and it works well. But it's nice that they added that on so you can, have them displayed on there. And the piece is leveled pretty good and pretty correctly. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it over here. We're going to try to highlight the star of the show, which is, none other than He-Man himself. And I saw this in pictures, and I was really worried because I thought that his face looked too not badass enough, I guess, and I felt like it might have looked a little bit like Arnold, to be honest with you. But when you have it in person, it's actually a really good sculpt. It's a lot better representation than what it looks like in the pictures, as far as the look of him. He looks really good, and it's weird because I thought that I don't know why the pictures make him look like it's kind of like weird the way he looks in the pictures, but when you have him in hand, you realize, hey, damn, it actually looks pretty awesome. So now I can see what Mondo was saying, or what they were trying to pour over when they said this was their interpretation of He-Man. And I don't want to really take off the weapons off him because they're really, really hard to put on him without, unplugging something or loosening something, and it takes a while, but, I'll try to show him the best I can. First, let's start off with his face, as you see there. And his face is really well done. It's really well painted. It looks a lot better, trust me, than it does in this camera. And the thing is that the tone of the skin is a lot more flesh tone, like the He-Man toys. The hair is nicely painted with a nice soft yellow. His eyes are nice and bright blue. It's a very stern look with the little pink over lips. Some shades here and there. It's something that you have to see in person to really appreciate how much better it looks. This camera doesn't do it justice. Then is the harness with the traditional He-Man crest and logo. But instead of being all in that, gray color that we traditionally know from the vintage, it has a brown leathery look. And then he has this sword hilt here, right? Or sheath that you can put his sword of Grayskull. Really well detailed. It looks like leather straps. And then in the corner at the end, they put the face of Battle Cat, which is a beautiful touch in my opinion. You pull out the sheath like so. Push He-Man forward. And here is the Sword of Power. Very representative. And yet it has his own look and style for Mondo of what the He-Man sword is. Very nice with the gunmetal, sword metal with the golds accents right in here, the middle and the side, with this, as you can see there, with the leathery look of straps here and here. On the hilt, it even has sheen in it, so it looks like it has, worn leather and old new leather. And then it has the tip of the skull here in the very corner, which I think it's supposed to be an homage to the skull head that they showed Demo Man, which was the prototype of what Skeletor was supposed to be, stepping on his portrait. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it's supposed to represent. I'm not really sure, and if I'm wrong, please forgive me. It's just I'm taking a guess here. And it slides in very well, and it works very well. They put it here with these two little straps here where you just slide it on and off. But the thing is, those pieces here, they're not glued into this because they swivel so that you can put it either this way or this way. And so what ends up happening is they pop out. So I wish that was done a little different or executed a little differently. Maybe they should have had them already stuck on here with some pegs, and then the holes would be on this a little bit deep, and you just push it in, and I think it would stay better, but it still works well. And then you see here the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shield. This is a representation of the original shield, but with a new take on it. And it looks very Vikingish and barbarianish, and is absolutely gorgeous with these accents of red. It looks almost like blood red, with all the wear and tear, the beat up dents and nicks and marks everywhere from him being in battle. These balls here in rolling around in a circle. These beautiful gold accents is painted beautifully, and inside, as you see here, it shows this is like a leather strap, and it actually moves. It's like leather. It moves in, and then you have this hilt here that you would see like on a sword, where you could put his hands to hold it, and it works and looks very, very good. You see, and the bottom as well. You see, and then this is like his gauntlet on his wrist, and these come off, and they look like gold leather straps instead of brown leather straps instead of the traditional gold that he had in the original vintage. And this is what it looks like on this side. The vintage straps, beautiful also. With the silver, the gold, painted really well. With the brown to make it look like leather, but at the same time, it's have a nice rubber. It comes right off, or slides right off, and it has a more realistic look to it. And there it is. It popped off right there, right in front of you, and all I was trying to do was move it. You just slide it in like so, like that, and then you just pop in the hands. These pegs that they did for each hand, I wish, that's my second thing that I think they should have done a little differently. Well, third, because of the hilt, or what I was talking about, the hilt for the sword. They should have done the pegs a little bit longer. Not skinnier, but longer. Because I think they work, and it works well. So, and then the gum, the rubber they use for the hands is rubbery, but it's perfect rubber. It's like a well balanced. It's not too gummy where you feel like it's too loose and it can't hold on correctly, and it's not too brittle where you feel you might break, you know, the hilt or the hands when you're trying to put the weapons to be so you can hold on to them there. So I'm just trying to fix the camera here so you guys can keep on seeing what I'm doing. And then here goes his axe. His axe is absolutely not only classic, but absolutely gorgeous looking. Look at that. The metal tip top, the metal indentation of the axe at the end. Now with the gold middle embroidery where it's holded and built with gold. The middle here is really nicely sculpted, detailed. It has scuffs, dry brushing of weathering and battle, like aging. The hilt is beautiful as well, done in a nice, brown. It looks like it has rounded leather strapping around or going around. And the tip of it is gold with a tip of like a spike, which looks like if he hits somebody over the head like this, dot, dot, he can break a hole right in their skulls, which was said to be, one of the moves that they would do with axe in that era with the barbarians and the Vikings. It is absolutely beautiful and very well executed. I'll put it back in his hands. As you can see, they go on pretty easy. My problem is like I told you, once you put it on, the hands tend to come right off, and it's because those pegs are too short, and that's why I made a gripe about it. Then we have here, in the middle, we have here a nice, which I thought this wouldn't look too good, but this is again a more realistic look of the, it's like a little cloth over his actual shorts that we had in the classic style. In the bottom, you can see it's the same type of style, but it's just sculpted, and this feels like a leathery feel, and you see all the, stitching on there. Really nicely done. Feels like leather. And this is a separate piece, which would be his belt. To hold it up in nice gold. And has pouches here. A pouch there and a pouch there. With the brown, like I said. And then this is the back, really nice and soft. It feels like two parts, two pieces, as you see. Which is really nice. I believe you can take this off and you can display them without, in his overall. But I kind of like it like this, so I don't want to really touch it. I don't want to do anything and maybe rip it or damage the figure. And then we go to his sculpting, his legs. It's three parts. This is one part, this is another part, and this is another part. And then his boots, which look absolutely incredible. With a nice light brown and then the darker straps of brown. This also, I feel like this should have been able to execute a little bit better because it feels like it's cheaply done, or like when they glued it together, it kind of ruined the fur, and it feels some parts feel soft and some parts feel hard, so it doesn't give you the perfect illusion of being, furry, which it is, as you can see, but it looks more coarse and furry. An animal fur, in other words. But I think it's, growing pains from Mondo. I think it's something that they'll learn and get better at with time, because they say they're going to try to tackle and make more of these. And, I've seen pictures of Man-at-Arms and Merman, and oh my god, they look absolutely incredible. And as far as the articulation, it has very good articulation because we have the ball joint there on the pecs, underneath the pecs rather, on the torso. He has the waist swivel, like so. He has the shoulder 360 degrees. He has a bicep swivel. He does have I think what looks to be, it's a single joint, but they made it in a way back here where it looks like it's a double joint. And I think it was so to make it to give that arm a more realistic elbow look. So when you bend it like so, and you bend it like so, right? It still looks like he has a elbow. He's painted very well. Oh, no, here you go. See, that's what I was talking about. How I'm glad that you guys are witnessing it because you'll see what I'm talking about. The pegs is too small, so it keeps coming off. Let me see. Let me fix him real quick. Since he's still new, he feels kind of like if you're gonna maybe break him. The materials feel good though. I don't think it'll break at all. The piece for the shield fell off. It holds it. That's also something that I wish it was stuck on, but it came as a separate piece. I guess to give you better access to put it into his hand. But if this was glued, you don't have to worry. You wouldn't have to worry about it continuously come off. I'm thinking about gluing it with crazy glue, but I'm kind of contemplating it. But I'm scared because I don't want to ruin the integrity of the figure, obviously. Then he has obviously the ball joint for the wrist that he can go around and in and out and hinges, and it's the same in the other arm. And then in the legs he has where it's in a ball joint. He can bend like this or split like this, split in. Then you can actually swivel it on the top, and then this is a double joint that looks like one knee put together, which doesn't look too bad because it looks like a continuous piece of his knee. It just looks deformed. This is what makes it look bad. I think it's the cut. And then right here you don't have a cut, but you have a swivel, not on the boot cut, which is odd, but on the actual part of the knee, of that existing knee, like underneath the knee, which works well, but it looks kind of odd. I don't know. I think they should have just done it on the boot cut itself, on the boot itself, and it would have worked or looked a lot better. So on mine, I want to point out too that this boot is supposed to be lined together with the shin right there. I don't know if you guys see it. The shin right here. It's supposed to be lined, but if you look at mine, it's not lined up straight. The leg is facing that way. On this one, it's not like that. So I don't know if this was deliberate or if this is only with mine. It doesn't affect how I stand it, but when I'm trying to pose it, it keeps bothering me because I can't really pose it the way I want, because he does have the front and back on the shoes there, or rather on the boots. The front and back, and it has the rocker, as you see, but it looks weird. So when I'm trying to pose it, the boot looks like it's facing that way, while the piece here is facing that way, if you know what I mean. So I think it might be just mine, but it's not so terrible to the point where I'm like, oh my god, just give me a new one. I think it's okay. But for some of you guys, you might notice it, you might not like that. It's a warning if you do pick him up. And then his head obviously, comes off, and he has a smaller peg hole there. You just put it in. His head has the movement, which is cool. You could look down, you could look up a little bit, not too much, side to side, but you could also tilt his head, which is kind of cool. So put him like so, And then here, real quick, I show you guys what I was trying to talk about with the. I was trying to talk about and point out to you that I wasn't really happy with the design that they picked for this. And here it is right here. You see, these are connected to this, and they swivel so that you can put it whichever direction you want it to go. But these things are glued in there in a certain way. The one that's here, I guess the glue wasn't good enough or didn't have enough, so it comes on and off. So what ends up happening, it falls off easily, and it stays stuck on his back while this comes off. I wish that these pieces were automatically connected to the hilt, or his harness, chest harness, which would be, obviously, you see, stays stuck right there. So now I have to figure out how to go like this, and then after I do that, I gotta try to put it in there like this, like so. Or usually what I do is I take it off. It's a little easier. Plug it back in like so. And then slide it back on. Slowly, right? Usually you do the bottom first because it's the one that actually holds, and then do the top. And then it's back on him. You won't have a problem. It'll still work. But you got to keep on making sure that you push it in, so he doesn't fall off. So it kind of becomes a nuisance. I think one of the biggest nuisance for you guys if they get him is going to be that everything seems to fall off of him too easily. Whether it's the shield, whether and everything's going to feel to you automatically, instinctually. You're going to feel like, oh, maybe I should just glue everything on. And obviously you can't do that just like that without thinking about it once or twice, because this is a premium piece. This is not just a regular average Joe type figure. This figure costs $160. They are limited. You know what I'm saying? This was ordered back in, I want to say, October, maybe even August. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Maybe even August. And I didn't get it. I didn't get it back at all. Let me see if I can turn this off. I didn't get it back at all, or I didn't receive it until just now, and which was a couple of days ago, and we're now in May. So I'll put this back on him and show you guys what I mean. So there you have it, guys. Because he's a more costly figure, I feel that there's no way in the world that we should have to be able to tamper with it, paint it, do any type of other, tweaking and customization. It should be already, out of the box that way, because it's such an expensive figure. But again, here he goes, it fell down. I was just going to try to slide this on him real quick, like this, so it could look pretty cool. Have somewhere to harness it and put it. Oh, the piece came off. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. So it could look, so because, again, you're paying that much money, it should be where it's, it should be where it comes basically almost perfect out of a box. Kind of like the way that Hot Toys and Sideshows are. That they're just pretty much perfection by the time you get them out of packaging. But everybody has to remember that Sideshow and Hot Toys, when they first started, it was the same way. They had some figures that really didn't look a lot like the depiction of certain characters and who they were supposed to be. Some QCE issues. It's like like any toy that's released for the first time from a company. It just had growing pains. Is the best way for me to describe it. Growing pains. And it's good that the guy that works for Mondo, that did these or that's doing these, is or used to be an employer, I think, of Hot Toys, or he used to work for Hot Toys, one of the main people behind this He-Man line. And I just think that's a great thing, and I think that means the potential for the figures to get better in quality and in what they deliver is going to be better and better. And he did say that his main goal and purpose was to make them where they would be pricey, yes, because it's a premium figure, but not where it gets ridiculous to the point where people can't handle it. And it feels overwhelming because people will want to get, the rest of the figures or collect them all. And if they dive in deep with more characters, he wants, he really wants it to be to the point where people can finish the whole set and be happy, with it. Which I think is cool that he actually cares like that. And he said they plan to release at least 4 a year and maybe one exclusive for a con. And I don't think that's too bad, even though they're 160. But it's about almost $900 a year. But if you really love them and it's that important to you, you just collect these only and don't worry about anything else. You should be okay. So, guys, I hope you like my review. I hope you like my outlook on the figure. I know it went a little long, but I wanted to show them in depth and as detailed as possible to show it to you guys. I know you've seen it before, but this is my review in my style with my aesthetics and my flavor. Tu sabe, mi sabor, like we say in Latinos. So I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you guys think. Like, leave a comment down below. Dislike if you didn't like it. Share it with someone you think might like this video. And, if you're new to my channel and you subscribed, thank you very much. Because I know you don't have to, but now that you did, you become part of my family. I'm very appreciative for you guys coming by, and I'll leave my PayPal link down below for anyone who would love to help out with any small donations. It doesn't matter, $25, 20 cents, a penny, $1, whatever. Whatever you choose, if you want to. You don't really have to. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm not sponsored. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have no ads that, sponsor me. And I have a smaller subscriber base, even though I've been on YouTube for about 3 years. Because I do everything pop culture, He-Man related. Because, I'm a big He-Man fan. Video games, obviously. And anything movie related. So, I'm just looking forward to the rest of these line. I already have Skeletor and Faker paid off for the year. And I believe Man at Arms is set to also come out in December. So hopefully I can get him for Christmas. And I'll have all 4 of them at the end of the year. And we'll go and dive in on each one of those. If you guys give me the opportunity, if you guys would like to see that. And that help that you give me, will help me increase my quality of my channel, like camera, lighting, and even just acquiring some of these figures to be able to continue to do them in reviews and show them off and showcasing them. Or if you want to donate any figures in particular, I would be more than glad and happy to review them for you, so you guys can tell me what you think with my review. Thank you, guys. I hope you like it. Mondo's 12-inch scale or 1/12 scale Masters of the Universe He-Man. And yes, this was not the exclusive. I missed out on that with the Alcala Skeletor head from the comics. But hopefully I'll be able to pick it up in the secondary market if for not too expensive. Thanks again, guys. Thank you for joining. See you soon. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.